Lesson 3-4 in your textbooks invites you to consider this question. How can I use an area model and place value to find partial products to multiply? Let's take a minute and understand the question. So they're asking how can you use an area model and place value to find partial products to multiply. Well, I know that partial has the little word part in it, and so part just means by parts. I know that a product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So this question is asking, they want you to consider how can I use an area model and place value to find the parts of a product to multiply. Well, what is an area model? I know what partial product means, and I'm pretty used to place value by now. Well, what is an area model? An area model is a simple rectangle or square, and you use it to visually organize your work, and it's useful to keep you from forgetting a part by accident. So, an area model is a simple rectangle. I'll draw one now. What is an area model? A simple rectangle. What is an area model? A simple rectangle. Why do we use an area model? An area model is used to organize your work. You're doing the same work, but you're going to organize it inside of this rectangle and along this rectangle. Miss Ali, why would I want to use a rectangle to organize my work? Well, fourth grader, I'm glad that you asked. You might want to use a rectangle to help you organize your work to keep you from forgetting a part and leaving it out by accident. So, suppose we had to solve the problem 5 times 1,384. Suppose you need to solve this problem. Well, I'm going to use place value. What are my place value parts? Let's say this number together. 1,384. So I hear my place value parts. 1,380. Remember that T means 10. 4. And we never say the word unit. This factor has 4 place value parts. There's a thousands part, a hundredths part, a 10 part, and then a units part. And so there's 4 place value parts here. So I'm going to divide my rectangle into 4 parts. Each part will represent a place value part. Thousands is the biggest part, and so I'm going to put my 1,000 part there. Hundredths is the next biggest part, and so I'm going to put my 100 part here. Then I have my T part, my 10 part, so I'll put that there. And then my unit part, I just need to write on that line. There are no zeros. So I'm going to have a 1,000 part, a 100 part, a 10 part, and a unit part. What is my 1,000 part in the factor? It's 1,000. In the factor, my 100 part is 300. In the factor, my 10 part, my T part is 80. And my unit part is 4. Each one of these place value parts must be multiplied by 5. So I have 5 times 1,000 gives me 5,000. 5 times 300 gives me 1,500. 5 times 8 tens, 5 times 8 gives me 40. So that's going to be 40 tens. And 5 times 4 gives me 20. So that's 20 units. And I can check at a glance that I remember each of my parts, because I have all 4 parts of my place value listed up here, and I have all 4 parts of my product listed here. So to find the final answer, I just need to copy these parts down and add them all up. I'm taking the parts from the inside, the partial product from the inside. This is a part of my product. 1,500 is part of my product. 40 tens is part of my product. And 20 units is part of my product. Add them all together, and I get 6,920. Now, let's use an area model to multiply 7 times 236. An area model looks like a regular old rectangle. What does an area model look like? A regular old rectangle. So I'm just going to draw a regular old rectangle. Now, I will organize my factor into place value parts. The place value parts in 236, I have 2 hundredths, 30, that's a 10 part, and 6 units. So there's 100 tens and a units part. My area model, I'll break it into 3 parts. For my hundredths, tens, and my units. This is going to be for my hundredths part, this is going to be for my tens part, and this is my units part. My factors, I have 7 times 200, 7 times 30, 3 tenths, and 7 times 6 units. I will put the parts of the product inside of the area model. 7 times 2 is 14, so 7 times 2 hundredths gives me 1,400. 7 times 3 is 21, so 7 times 3 tens gives me 21 tens. 7 times 6 is 42, and so that gives me 42 units. Now I just need to add each of my place value parts back together. I'm going to add the products. 1,400, 21 tens, and 42 units. I double check to make sure that each place value is lined up correctly. If I cover up my hundreds, all of my hundreds should be covered up. If I cover up my thousands, only my thousands should be covered up. Everything is lined up. I can add this now. 0 plus 2, 2. 0 plus 10, 10. 10 plus 4, 10 plus 40 is 50. 400 plus 200 is 600. And 1,000 plus no more thousands is 1,000. What if I wanted to solve 3 times 52? Well, I could do that. If I'm going to use an area model, I'll need to draw a regular old rectangle. And then I put my factors on the outside. Well, my factors are 3, so I'll put 3 here, and 52. Well, 52, there's only 2 place value parts there. I have a 50, that's 5 tenths, and 2. So I only need to split my area model into 2 parts. I'll put my T part, my tens part here, and my units part here. $50 and 2. 3 times 5 is 15, so it's going to be 15 tens. 3 times 2 is 6, so that's going to be 6 units. And then I will add my parts back together. 156. 156.